going live. I never know when we're live until we're live, so.
Oh, yes, we are now.
We are live! Yay!
We are live. We are live.
Hello, my darlings. I'm so sorry we kept you waiting. We were just fluffing around as we usually do, as ladies do, but we always try to be on time. Welcome to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. My name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. And to my left is Unique, our style concierge and dating and relationship coach. And somewhere on the screen we have Yvonne, who is our everything and dating and relationship coach. And you might be wondering who this beautiful soul who's joined the quartet.
Yeah.
She fits in beautifully, doesn't she? This four
I know, right?
Like she belongs here in this four piece.
Yeah.
This is our star Penny. We love Penny. She is amazing. We adore her, and so does the rest of the world, I think. I don't think there's a better advocate for today's show than Penny. So say hi, Penny.
Hi, my name is Penny. I'm a seasoned Black Swan now.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very privileged to be here. I've been fighting nail and tooth to be here because normally on Tuesdays it's my leisure, but I just told work that I have to go because there's somewhere that needs me more than you.
Oh,
now that's a real Black Swan.
I'm very, very happy to be here to share my story for the people that would learn, because I was one at that.
Yes.
And I'm now a seasoned swan by Chengi and God's grace. So
there you go. So, well, what can I say? Did you want to say anything to our lovely people, Unique? What did you want to say?
Just hello. Hello.
How are you feeling now? Because you were not well last week.
Oh my God, much better. I am learning to take care of myself. I know we always say we need to take time, take care of yourself. I am learning to take care of myself. And sometimes you feel bad because you're taking time off, but I was like, no, I need time off. I mean, can you not see the glory of God because I rested?
We see the rest glow, the glory that comes with the rest. And we have anything you'd like to say, Yvonne, before we get going? Because I know we're all excited to hear from Penny, but anything you'd like to say to our viewers tonight?
Other than welcome, it's great to have you here. And the only piece of advice I'm going to give you, ladies out there, I know you didn't ask for it, so forgive me if I give it, is to listen, and then follow through.
And she said all she has to say. Thank you so much, Yvonne. So today's title is going to be Breaking Cycles, Unveiling. What is it? What's the rest? Unveiling
love patterns for a healthier relationship journey.
Unveiling love's patterns for a healthier relationship journey. So as you all know, thank you, Unique, because, well, that's why we have a team. One remembers one part, the other. Yeah. Okay, so this
and the other reads it.
Yes, that one reads it. We rescue each other. What can I say? I'm really excited because we're continuing our soulmate series as we unveil indeed the secret behind the Black Swan power. Okay, this is our secret superpower, and we've always kept it a lovely little secret. No one really knows about it except the people that pick up the phone and make the discovery call. But we decided that why are we keeping such an amazing secret? Why are we doing this? It's not right. It's not fair. So today we will be discussing and speaking really from one of our modules. And this conversation is going to be around what we would call the module 3, where we really look at patterns and the stories that we created in, with past relationships and how they're sort of affecting the decisions that we're making right now. But I know you all want to hear from Penny, and I know she is loaded with loads to say. So Penny, I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to let you go freely. And then of course, any of the coaches can, pipe in and ask you a question if they need a little bit more clarity. And of course, those of you watching live with us tonight, feel free to stick your questions in, because of course we love hearing the sound of our voices, but we also love to hear the sound of yours, or at least see it in the comments. So Penny, welcome again. And
thank you.
tell us, why did you even find the Black Swan Relationship Academy? What was going on? What precipitated your move to make this call?
So like everybody else, I will talk for myself. I got to a stage in my life that my own dysfunction made me sick. So I was tired of being dysfunction and I was looking for answers. So where would be the best place to go? Probably YouTube or Google or anything. So one day I was driving from work and there was a gentleman called R.C. Blake speaking with a lovely lady called Chengi. And whatever they said just hit me, just hit me. And I was like, ooh, who are these people? And I thought, okay. So the messages were resonating with me, and I was like, I'll dive more deeper. Because for some reason, I draw more to Chinwe. I don't know whether because she was in UK or what, and I started following and binging all her YouTube videos, and most of her videos were all saying where you have to look out yourself. Because when I listened to other videos, they were like 20 things to do, 12 things to do, this like tricks and games. But this lady was talking about how you have to be there. Let's work on you. Let's like they have a torchlight. Let's look at you. So when you are okay, everything will be okay. I'm like, everybody is the problem, because when you are dysfunction, as I was, that was many, many years ago, everybody is the problem apart from you. Okay, out of curiosity, let me dive more. But I was looking at the videos and I thought, my problems, my issues, obviously, because of it was more generic. Can I make a call so that this lady just died? It took some time. I didn't just make a call. So I've been joining for about 3 months. So one day I gathered the courage and I made a discovery call. And when I made that discovery call, I was sold. One, it was the compassion. It was the things I was going to say. Even I gave the life story, which was, there was no judgment. There were open ears. They were like, I was like, okay, then I can dive more. And I said, do you have any program that I can dive deeper so that we can, like, you can be a doctor and I can tell my story so that you can really diagnose me properly. And she said, oh, there's a course called Soulmate Attraction course. And I was like, yeah, at first I was like, okay, I'm going to get the love of my life. But when I started the course, it was all to do with me. And I was somebody that was, because of the father and the mother wounds, I was heavily codependent, if there's a word like that. I was people pleasing. I was self-doubting, erratic mood, reacted at nothing. Water could pour on the floor and I could react because everything was chaotic. We came to this soulmate attraction course that unveil everything. Everything was just peeling off. So when we started doing that course, and what I like about the course, although getting a fantastic relationship is a bonus, you become healthier. You unlearn all the dysfunction. Everything across, but relationship with friends, work colleagues, everything just align. Just because the program helps you to reprogram, because you have, just a number. You become so dysfunction and set in certain ways that, believe me or not, I thought that was the only way. And I thought everybody was wrong. But I thought, okay, everybody can be wrong. Let's start dealing with me. And when the torch, and that's how the program is, when the torch was shown into me, and the thing is like an onion, you peel it. It's painful, but it peels. That's why a self-coach, you should have a self-coach. They won't peel it one day. When you're cooking with an onion, you cry a bit, then we just teach you, then you stop, then you peel another onion, then you peel another onion. So you finish chopping. That's how the soulmate attraction course is. It's difficult, it's painful, but the results is priceless. Somebody might say it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive. I didn't have money. I put it on my credit card and I'll do it again. because the things I was stuck to thinking that is it, that I knew, and that is what I knew. And that was my normal. If I just remember it now, it's just so painful. It was far from the truth. So it's just unpeeling the toxic things and reprogram that makes you healthy. And once you become healthy, I promise you, a romantic relationship is a byproduct. Work change, your friendship with females will change, your family, with everything. And I'm saying a romantic relationship, it's a byproduct. You will love yourself so much. Sharing it will be a bit challenging.
I love it.
And this was the girl that was so lonely, needy, hasty, that's the word. Yeah. And now, not anymore. It's so fulfilled.
Yeah.
But you cannot, I know some people will binge on the videos, which I was doing. It's okay, it's a good start, because that's where I started from. But if you want to peel the onion, if you know an onion, you need to do that first. It's a must. Yeah. Put on a credit card and pay it slowly. And you will never regret it. The only regret I have is I wish I've done it earlier. That's the only regret, because I think certain things would have changed for me. Yeah.
I love.
So my dysfunction brought me to this clinic.
Yes. I love it. We all love it when Penny talks about the soulmate, because so passionate about it. Yeah. And I obviously was her coach at the time. I took her through it, and I don't know if there's any one of our clients who wouldn't echo the same remarks. Really, it's just so transformative, and it feels like you've come out of water and you can breathe, and you're like, and Penny just took to this course like fish to water. I mean, I don't think you missed one call. She didn't miss a call. She was always on time and always dressed up, because she felt it's such a special occasion. And I always say that the attitude that somebody comes with them to this course is pretty much the winning ticket. Do you have any questions to ask Penny, Unique, or Yvonne that you would like?
Honestly, when she finished, I was like, okay, yeah, fine, that's the end of the live. What more can we ask? What more can we say?
We can all say goodnight.
I know, right? So, but for me, I'd like, when you're driving in the car and, people will say, oh, this resonated. Do you remember some of the words that Chengi spoke to you that hit home? Because I think sometimes it's lovely to actually go back to that key moment when you realize, you know what, I'm the one who needs the work here. Whether it was when you're driving, listening to us speaking, or during your calls, what key moment for you during this transformation made you think, yeah, you know what, yeah.
And I think the key transformation, was there was a page that I did that you had to write a self letter to yourself. And the letter you had to repeat, I'm enough. And I struggled to even do that. Because I was very far away. So I think you had to say I'm enough 7 times, and you say the reason why. And I just could not bring myself to word to say, what does she mean I'm enough? I'm not enough. I'm just your Moko circle that I would display. I displayed for love and attention. When you've had the mother and the father wound, even when a monkey shows up, any foolish things you display. The video that you did about testing, that if you're testy, drink water. I wish I knew I had to drink just water to sit down.
Just drink your water.
I was not drinking water. I was very thirsty. Thirsty for anything. Any foolish things on the street. That's what I mean. It's not thirsty for the good things. So that's how thirsty I was. So one thing was telling me I'm enough. I'm like, okay, what do you mean?
But of course, I love what you said, because we're talking about breaking the cycle. So thirst is good, but you were just thirsting after the wrong thing. So like in your
crossboard.
Yeah, exactly. So in your working with Chengi, how did you then switch? Okay, you know what? I'll just drink my water. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so the course that's on the module 3, it tells you to write that if there was no scarcity mindset, if you didn't have that fear mindset. So my mindset, everything was so scared for me. So if you've been abandoned, everything is so scared, scarcity, fear. You were afraid that even if, and Chengi told me about healthy boundaries. I was like, what's she talking about? What's that one? I didn't know what that word was. I knew it was somewhere in the dictionary. I'm like, if I set a boundary, I'm not going to have a friend. If I set a boundary, everybody's going to leave me. I just have to display so that I'm tag along. You're telling me to say no in a healthy way. I can't do it. Is there a word called no? She said yes. Because why couldn't I say a healthy no? Because of the scarcity, the mind. And I was just a young, pretty 39 turning to a sweet 40. And if you think my life had been a fear of somebody will leave me, a fear I'm not enough, a fear it's scared. Oh, even this friend wants us to meet. If I say no, she's going to not be my friend again. Oh, I've never had a friend. And this friend loves me. Oh, this man will say, you know, so that scarcity mindset was ingrained in me, in my blood, my DNA was flowing through me. So the course helped me flush it down, drain it down. So it was work to drain all. And if you just lived just to 40, and we are draining all that scarcity, fear, abundance, thinking everybody will leave you because you don't believe that you are enough.
Yeah. Wow.
And to the play.
You spoke about module 3, Fanny, and where you, you know, it's talking about the scarcity. When you did the people that you dated, did you recognize your pattern, your your dating history immediately, or was it something that you had to really sit with and look at it and said, but I've seen this one before at number 2. He's also number 3 and 4. Did you realize it quickly, or did it take you?
I'm glad you asked that question. It depends the attitude you bring with soulmate attraction call. You get to week 3, you are woke. It's like winter and summer. The difference is clear, day and night. Wow. You don't even have to get to, I don't know how many more, was it 6, 7? You don't have to get to that. If you set your mind, because I got to Chengi when I was desperate, when all has failed, and I knew, as I said, my dysfunction was making me sick. So I knew I was dysfunction, it was making me sick. So I was in a state where I was desperate. So probably week 3. Yeah. Everything just added up. We didn't finish. Everything just, the scarcity mindset, the fear thing, it was just, the reprogramming for me happened in week 3. We didn't get to 4. So it just depends how you put yourself. And when I said, whenever I came, I dressed up. Because I meant business. And that is how I reprogram. And I followed it religiously, did my homework. Yes. And I had the support. And the good thing is there was no judgment. There was nothing that I said under the sun that blew like, oh, you did that? Whoa, you did? No, everything was normal. We've seen it before. So I had a very comfortable place to be very vulnerable. And that really helped with my healing. So you have to also connect with the right person. Because like, oh, did you do that? There was nothing like that. So I was very privileged to be, there was a space for me to be vulnerable, to share. So as I shared, because if you went to your GP and you said, oh, I've cut my hands, your GP will give you the antibiotics for your hands, but probably it will be down there and you are shy. So as the place, as the environment and the atmosphere was very, very warm and loving, I was able to open up my wounds, my debts, and that helped me heal. Wow. Because every week I was able to expose more. Because I knew, oh, this week I shared this. There was no judgment. Or the next week I just hit her with something different. That didn't even hit her the following week. So I was very privileged to take all the debt from me. I puke it.
I love that.
Puke it all. And
I love
never
that.
ends.
I love that. And you make such an amazing point. I think I was talking to Yvonne this week, and I was saying, and I think I did a video as well on YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram, a reel saying how people lie. And, some of it is really subconscious, but I have learned that, definitely when we are here on this sort of panel situation, everybody's looking super glam and we make an effort because we are raised to dress up for our audience. But when we're really coaching, you really meet the kind of more, this is still the real person, but you meet a sister, I think, or a mother or an auntie. And one of the things about, one of the things I love that you said, Penny, that I guess we don't really think about much for ourselves. And definitely something that I wanted for my coaches was to really find people with compassion. And the reason why I always say to my clients, and you were able to feel that, non-judgment, is because God allowed me to make every mistake women make, every mistake. Okay. And so to judge somebody literally is to judge myself, and to not give them grace means I don't have grace. And I wanted a team of coaches who had made enough mistakes in life, maybe not the same ones, but that made enough mistakes to not judge. And one of the things I love about the coaches here is everybody is so kind and so compassionate, sometimes a little too kind and compassionate. I have to be like, stop mothering that girl and tell her to behave herself, Sometimes I'm the one with a big stick because everybody's so kind. But I do think that having somebody to hold your hand who moves with compassion is 99% of the healing, because when we're coming to understand trauma and how patterns are built, how you are comforted as a child when something traumatic happens actually affects whether that becomes trauma or just an event that happened. Because in life, when you're traumatized, anyone who, let's take a child that has been molested, for instance, the one that had somebody to tell, the one who was able to say, this is what happened to me, and they were heard and they were believed and they were comforted, that child would have had the same experience as the other child who was molested, but this child doesn't have trauma. They have something that happened to them. This happened to them, but they don't carry the trauma. Something didn't happen in them that took something away from them. But the one that didn't have somebody to listen, that didn't have somebody to hold them, or even somebody who didn't get believed, that person now carries trauma. And it doesn't matter at what stage in life you are. To break a pattern, you must find another human. I think there was a preacher I heard speaking and said, something, he mentioned a scripture and he said, God will forgive you, but to heal, you must speak to one another. I think it was the scripture that says, confess your sins one to another that you may find healing. So this vertical relationship comes with forgiveness, but the horizontal relationships comes with healing. And in the world, there's so few people that love God, who know the standard, but won't judge you. You either have to deal with judgment because you should know better. The scriptures say, but that's not going to heal me, or you kind of get these kind of, you're not sure about how they move spiritually. So to hear you say that is really powerful for us to know that actually that was so important for your healing. And to be honest, I'm hearing it for the first time because I'm just being myself, but clearly for you it's like, okay, I can tell more truth. And that's why it's so important to go on the journey with a coach, because the first time people come, even if it's a discovery call, even if it's just, a few weeks to maybe a mentoring, it takes a while for you to trust that person. It takes a while for you to build trust with your coach. So if you're just doing maybe a discovery call, and you take away that information and you try to activate it, you probably haven't told that coach everything. And that's okay. But get into the relationship. And I think this is the message that, I'm really trying to put across, that look, we spend so much money going to university, doing these masters, blah, 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 coming out with massive debt. And whilst I'm not advocating for anybody to get a credit card or to get into debt, like Penny said, we can not for a million and different things. She's like, why not?
Why not?
But we do that. We go on holiday, we get into debt. This is
really. Sorry, Chinwe, I just wanted to say something before anybody who is over 18, that's my belief, and I think it's proven. Because your mind has already formed and you are setting certain patterns.
Yes.
I believe 120%. If it's not even Chinwe or Unique or Coach Yvonne, you need somebody to help you reprogram.
Yes.
Period. And this is a proven fact. You could pray fast, which I did, but anybody who is above 7 or 8, and I think everybody will be above 18, you need somebody to help you. That's someone's skill to help you. It's called reprogramming. Because, and especially if you're above 30, if you're almost 40, then you, like, that's all you know. And believe me, some of the certain things that Chinwe said, it was the first bloody time I've heard it.
Wow.
First time. I had not heard from anyone. Even if I heard it, I didn't even hear it. You know, because I was not ready. But when you have a coach holding your hands to reprogram you, and there's homework you do, it's different. There's no amount of videos you will bring. I think the time I called you, I'd probably watched almost 80 of your videos, but I wouldn't have done the job. Because there are certain things that you couldn't have asked me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's different. This is painful. It's not easy work. So there's no lie here. This is painful. Some of the courses, I remember the forgiveness bits where I had to bend, and because there's so many things. You have to write a forgiveness letter, bend. By the time I finished, I had cold sores. Because the things that I had to forgive people about, I remember that it happened just that evening. So it's very, very, very painful. So if you don't have somebody holding your hands, it's tricky. And I just pray that everybody meets somebody they connect with. I was very lucky. I think my discovery call was 30 pounds, not 30 pounds, like 30 minutes. But I found a speech for 1.5, and I thought, oh, how much do I owe you? So, oh, nothing. So straight away, I was lucky on the discovery call to just connect. And I was sold at my discovery call. And I knew it's like energy. I knew that, oh no, this woman needs insurance for her years because I'm going to puke. I was very sick.
But I like that you say that, Penny, because would you say then that you found safety in Chengi? Because you can't just, you know, like when you're feeling sick, we always run to the bathroom. You run to somewhere that's safe. You don't want to be sick in just anybody.
Yes.
So I say, what role did that feeling safe play in you actually really getting to where you are
as
now?
I said, my discovery call was 30 minutes. If you go on the website, I could just afford 30 minutes. But as we're having the discovery call, she was so loving, asking me more questions. And I was so anxious because I'm thinking about the money. I couldn't afford it. Just pay 30 minutes. I was like, and she was just asking me questions. And it was so open. I was so free. I was like, okay, more puking. Somebody's going to take all this on. I mean, puke more. I think we stood up for almost 1.5 to 2 hours. So straight away, I was like, what a bond. It's like we connected just on the discovery. We're just so connected. So I felt very at ease. Then I told myself, boy, this lady needs an insurance for her years because I'm just going to bring everything out. Because I wanted to get ill because I got to the point that my dysfunction had made me sick. And I was tired of being sick. So I just needed it. You know, everybody will come to Chinwe probably at a desperate point. So yes, I was at the point where I was not going back, not on heel now.
Yeah, lovely.
It just depends how desperate you are.
Yes.
Come forward, Yvonne.
You've mentioned dysfunction a couple of times. I've heard you use that word. So do you think then, because you were dysfunctional, not only were you dysfunctional, but you were so desperate, you would have done almost anything to, you know, for somebody to help you. Do you think then that women should wait until they get to that point, or is it something that they should seek now?
Seek now, because as I said, I didn't even know that something like that existed. I happened to be coming from work, and I Googled the topic I wanted to, and it was RC Big and Chengi. And I was like, people do teach about this, because I was living in dysfunction, so this normal thing did not exist for me. So I just didn't know. So I was very intrigued. So I just But okay, Elsie Blake is okay, but she's in America. But at that point, I've made up my mind that obviously I'm going to get help. So I started binging on the video. Then I found I went on the website. I think I emailed Chengi at some point, and I bought the self-affirmation course. That was great, but I knew I needed more than that. So we started communicating via email. And then she told me, oh, this based on what the email, obviously, she gave me a generic thing that I think this course will be good for you. And one thing I like about Chengi, she was so honest, because you know, when you're so dysfunctional, all you're thinking about is relationship. I wanted to join her. She told me point straight that no, you are very far from that SWAN nation. You're just not at that stage yet. Because I wanted to just carry forward and just join the nation. And she says, no, we need to work together, which I really understood. And after doing the soulmate attraction course, as I have said, romantic relationship, you'll find out that will take you there, but that will be the last thing, because you become so healthy and so loving your world that will come back.
The glow is real. You know,
go back.
I wish, you know, maybe we can forage some of the videos and just show you the non-audio of, you know, Penny when we're on the discovery call, if I can even find the video now. But I love the transformation. I live for the transformation. And I am so sad that those of us watching this never get to see the beginning, because honestly, that first beginning, when women come, and like Yvonne was saying, you know, I don't want women to wait till they're desperate. You know, what I would love in the world where 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, we can deal with that so much better, so that they start healthy dating lives. Yeah. I want to see mothers and daughters coming together, because honestly, sadly, desperation is what leads us, but you've gone through so much damage to get to desperate, right? Yeah. So much damage. But it's something that you said, Penny, that I really, really wanted to highlight, because it's really powerful. And it's that in the process, you even got cold sores because of what you had to do. Mm-hmm. And I think people don't really understand how trauma sits in the body and causes illness and disease.
Yeah.
You know, not only are you sick in the mind, but when we start to do the work, some people get really ill. Even when I do some of my work, I get really ill. You're going to get really tired. You're going to have some physical manifestations that are going to happen. No, we're not exorcising you. We believe that's the Holy Spirit. Maybe he is, you know, behind the scene.
Yeah.
But as we start to deal with these stories and these blocks and these patterns are not just sitting in your subconscious mind doing nothing. They're not there just making you dysfunctional mentally. They're actually stealing your health away. And one of the things that I think we should make known, Penny, as we have this conversation is, what do you do for a living?
Oh, okay. One thing you said about sickness, I forgot this. I was always in something called situational depression and burnout. So mine was not clinical depression. Mine was situational depression and burnout due to the trauma. Yes. So that's outside, as apart from that, that is something that I always suffered. Situational depression and what's it called? Burnout. Always burnout. Always. Because I mean, when you are carrying all this toxic thing, you'll be burnout. You have depression.
This toxic thing.
Yeah.
It's baggage, right?
Exactly. And you're in the medical field, aren't you, Penny?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just a medical profession, a very, 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 very well educated, very, very smart medical profession, as you see her sitting there. Even though she looks very girly, she's to be revered. And the reason I mention that is because, you know, if even somebody in the medical profession was able to recognize that actually there's some physical and psychological and emotional stuff going on even in this process. I think when you start to sort of do a lot of the somatic work that we do, and really start to go into the body and unravel the trauma, so much comes out. And I don't know about you coaches, but who's had a dry-eyed soulmate? Because I've never had a dry-eyed soulmate.
No, never.
Never. I have never gone through a soulmate without
yet to see one.
and buckets of tears. It's standard. And tears tell us that your nervous system is trying to regulate itself in a better, more helpful way. But like Penny was saying, the shoulders, we carry all of this trauma within our body. And part of our process as trauma-informed coaches is to really help you unpack that trauma and get rid of it and take it out of your body. And where it's sitting and we can't move it, of course, we've got our trauma counselor who will dig even deeper and unravel it. And that's Shani. She's also our clinical supervisor here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. But, it's so important that we recognize that when we're sitting with these things, whether it's about romance, like Penny's saying, it's not just, oh, I'm going to find a man.
Yeah.
If you're not dealing with these things, you are going to age quicker, get so many illnesses and diseases, just generally degenerate. Your whole body is going to degenerate and your mind is going to get even worse. Imagine having situational depression and
all the time,
and burnout all the time. Right?
And anxiety at some point. Yeah.
Anxiety. And how
your
long
body takes a toll on its body, right? On your body.
These patterns take their toll because it's almost like constant poison going into your body, because that stress that you had as a little child is still like that button is still getting pressed, that cortisol, your hormones are still getting that hit.
A disease called erratic emotions. If water just pour on the floor, the way I'll react. So I think I diagnosed myself erratic emotion.
Erratic emotion. I've never heard of it, but that kind of, it sounds
even
like
water, and people
like
be like, it's just water. Why? It's just water. But it was so much that it was just erratic emotions. I never knew how to respond. Everything was so reactive. Over water, and believe me, over water pouring on the floor. Because there was so much anger and rage, and people think it's just water. What is there? But
I mean,
the water was just the byproduct. But it was so much anger. That was reacting over water.
I mean, look, because I know your story, and one day you will write a book and we'll all read the Penny story. I can see it already.
Definitely.
I mean, this woman had so many painful stories. We all have painful stories, but it just seemed to be one story after another and after another, and to just see her so healed and so alive. And every time we
I like that word, thank you, alive.
And actually every time I see you just look younger and younger and younger. I'm like, what on earth are you doing? Over to you, Coach Unique. What is
sorry, I was trying to fix my camera so you can see me better. Apologies for that. I obviously, again, because Penny always brings up all these amazing things that she learned, and then I always kind of think from someone who's looking on and thinking, but then why didn't Chengi just let you go and just get your boyfriend? Because you said, I want to get into a relationship. I want to get into a relationship. What was your thought process behind thinking, okay, I want to get into a relationship? Do you think a relationship was going to solve it? And then what actually made you then listen to Chengi and say, okay, you know what? Let me work on myself first. There's a reason I wanted to touch on that. I'd like you to relate it to also, and I know as a medical practitioner, when a baby is in the womb, is incubating, there's certain times when it can be born and it can't be born. So relate it to something like that and make someone understand that how important it is to literally go through the process than trying to jump ahead.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. So as I said, but when I came to the Black Swan, the soulmate attraction course, definitely a toxic situation brought me there. A situation that I thought, oh God, but okay, this man, I'm gonna die. That kind of thing. I'm gonna die. That's what the breaking point why I came to soulmate attraction course. Then obviously that was one of it. But Chinwe at that time says, let's look at your patterns. Why are you hanging on in literal words these foolishness? Really? Why are you hanging on? Let's see why you feel that you deserve this. Because it was nothing. What I was crying, wailing of was nothing. It was so much foolishness that it was unbelievable. But to me, it was my norm. But so I'm thinking, that's what I want. What are you talking about? Fix the situation. She was like, no, girl, we're going to do a proper work here. let's just leave the situation to our side. I'm not going to say anything, but let's work on you. Let's turn the torch. So all the torch. So now, and I think session 2, Chinwe helped me do my goals, because I didn't have goals. All I was doing was displaying monkey circles, displaying for attention, love, and affirmation. So I didn't have any goals, because people have to affirm me. I was so thirsty. I needed affirmation, validation. So why would I have a life of my own, dependent, codependence, or other people? So when session 2, I did my goals, building goals with family, church, creativity, community, what you can do to help. I'm going to have life. There's more to life than that. Than being nasty and chasing people. So I got my family life sorted. I got my creativity, my hobby. Jimmy says, take yourself on a date. I was like, oh, is that possible? I can take myself on a date. So when I started doing that, what do you like being creative? I started doing my garden. So my life was filled with certain things, meeting up, going to places I enjoy. I would never ever take a train to go to London on my own. I was like, oh, so my life was becoming very rich. And obviously, when your life becomes rich, you meet rich people. When I mean, not material, but healthy, thinking on the same level. So when we go to session 3, so now I've learned my goals and with family, church, what I can do for the community, my spiritual life, putting my finances together, my career. That was session 2. Session 3, then she said, let's look at the patterns. And my patterns were the same, toxic. So when we drew a line, it was so parallel that the common denominator was me. And that is when, why are you attracting those people? So you think they are lying to you, this, but why? What's making you attract that? And that is where I came to the scarcity mindset. I'm not enough, the fear. So because of the scarcity mindset, the fear, I'm not enough, the lack, everything is going to finish if I don't grab it. That led me to no boundaries, codependence, people pleasing, displaying like a monkey circus. So as I said, session 3, I was woke. The rest was just, I don't remember, the rest doesn't really make a difference to me. Session 3, I was just teasing.
Yes, Penny was like, you know what? I've dealt with that situation.
I've dealt with it, yeah. So I've dealt with it. When he said, well, what about that situation? I said, damn,
it's dealt with.
The situation was there. Was the course was that good that it was that.
I love it.
It was session 3. So even if you can't buy the whole course, can people buy to session 3? I don't know. Okay, so we can do more. So by the time I finished, I was so seasoned.
Yes, you were really...
I love the way she even says, even now, she's like, she's peppered.
Just seasoned.
I was seasoned.
Oh.
So why did you ask that question, Unique? What did you want to contribute to the answer to that question?
Because most of the time we'll meet clients and all they want, because sometimes, unfortunately, social media and so on, we say, look, come and I'll help you go on a date. I'll help you do that. And it's all good and well, but I've found that I have lost so much interest in just trying to get someone in a relationship. I want to help you fix you, because that is the key right there. And I think most people don't understand that I am the one who's going to attract this amazing man. So it's funny, because I was kind of thinking about it earlier today. And if you really think of when a baby's in the womb and they're born prematurely, sometimes their hearing is not that good. Sometimes their speech is not that good because they haven't fully developed. So they don't get the time to really, to like say, even if their lungs are not fully developed, and sometimes they end up having to get apparatus. Sorry, my daughter is here. Give me 1 second, Siri.
So before you even do your daughter, I would chip something quickly in. So Chinwe could have given me 10 reasons to go and fix and get that relationship, but that was not the ultimate goal. Chinwe wanted to put me in a place where I am healed and fixed, so I attract what I deserve. And as I said again, the romantic relationship will be a byproduct of this course. Your career, your finances, family relationship, female relationship, platinum, everything just a flourish. That's the word.
Absolutely. Did you want to, what do you think about what Penny said, Yvonne?
I loved, there's a couple of things that Penny said that there's more than a couple. Everything that Penny said is, is so instrumental in everybody's lives. The first thing that I agree with you on so many different levels is my personal belief is that every woman on this planet over the age of 16 should do the Soulmate Attraction course. Hands down, I would put my head on the block for it. It is a must for every woman. The second thing is, after 5 years, you should repeat it, because you know why? Your life changes as you go on and things get done. And it's something that we, as in the Black Swan team, need to keep revising it for the different stages that women go through. When you're 18 and when you're 30, it's two different things that's going on with you. And when you're 35 and about to get into marriage, you better have that course ready for, to get you to go into marriage. But what I wanted to, where I'm agreeing with you now, and in the way in which you talked about, this module 3, where it's so changed your life that the situation that you were in, you decided, you know what, forget it, I am worth more than this. And because you're worth more than this, you ditched that. And now look at you, because the Penny that I know doesn't take nonsense. And if he doesn't,
No.
And you don't, there's no nonsense here. You have got the right attitude, especially when it comes to dating and everything. Right now, you're on a dating break, and look at you.
Yeah.
A lot of women who are doing, you've taken a break off, from being online, and you're just enjoying being with you. Yeah. And having said that, you're enjoying being you. You've told us a little about the different things that you do with, you take yourself on dates, you're doing your garden, etc. What else are you doing that you may not be online, but you're still being intentional when you're going out there, not because you're necessarily saying, I'm looking for a husband, but you're saying, you know what, I want to expand my social circle. So what else are you doing out there?
I'm also, and one thing I did not know, because of before, that scarcity mindset, even if I saw a man that was good looking or probably had a good of thing, I always bow my head, because my head was always down because the weight was too much. Now I'm able to raise up my head and have eye contact. I never ever used to do that, and to the extent that
high five, then high five, just high five.
Now I'm able to look at people and give them eye contact, which I never ever used to do that, and smile, and you get people say, "Oh, you have just warm smile, oh, so pleasant." Just I didn't have that confidence, because I'm thinking, "Oh, this is too much for me." That interaction is just. I just couldn't not interact. No. The only thing I could do was just get into situations in my little corner, because I didn't have that.
Situations in my little corner.
Yes. Because that's what all you think you are worth. But now you have it. I'm able to look at people, and people exchange numbers. Yeah, I was on the dating app, which I just took a break. I'm going on 1st August. Bam. Yes.
And you're having a great time.
I will get my husband, but it's a good exposure to just interact with people. And once that's the good thing. Once you do this course, you can sift through so easily. It just
And Penny's gangster.
Yeah.
She's a proper gangster. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have something else to say, Yvonne?
I just asked Penny one other
Come
question.
closer. We can't hear you.
When did you realize that you liked you? When did that realization dawn on you? You know what? I like me. I kind of love me. What can I do for me? Because it is a realization, and a lot of people come to that really late in life. So when did you realize it in your process?
I think it's module 2.
Wow.
Module 2. Module 2. So module 2, a lot of people might rubbish module 2 off, because what Chinwe is saying, I'm thinking, what's she talking about? Give me a man. We're not talking about goals. I'm not. What do you want me to go and do in the community? And we're talking about man. You say community, friends, career goals. I'm thinking, I have a job. This lady, I want a man. Once your life is fulfilled with other healthy things.
Yeah.
And by all means, I love men, love men, love men. I think men are, we all need men. We all have to be in. We need companion, yes. But you have to fulfill your life, have a purpose, have a reason to wake up, and be of a benefit, not a liability to society. A man will come. A man is a byproduct, I can guarantee you that. And it might be tricky to choose one.
Because you got too many options. Black swan problems. Black swan problems.
Another problem you might get if you do this, so it'd be like, because you'll be so awake. I mean, you can, and the good thing is how you can sieve the foolishness from a man. That's why you don't react. You're like, okay, thank you. It will work for me. Oh God. And I like the fact that I can respond. I didn't even know that there was a response. I can just sit back calm and say, oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow, okay. Good points there, but that will work for me.
I love it.
It's so funny. I've got a client who's just finished as well, and she pinged me today, and she was like, and this happens all the time, and I know it probably happens for your clients as well, but it's that Penny just said that. She said, well, I just don't know which one to choose, because this one is, you know, like, and I always say, now you've got black swan problems, okay? And, you know, when people ask questions like, how come you're not married? I'm like, well, listen, I just need to be okay, you know. When there are different types of problems in this world, okay? There's a get a man problems, then there's a, well, he's fit, is he in alignment? Not, oh my goodness, just a loser from morning, you know. It's a different thing. And like Penny said, you can see it a mile away. You're like,
yeah,
like,
you can smell them before you see them.
You can smell it.
I know, right?
And you actually do have a set of amazing options to choose from. You know, you don't kind of have a bunch of losers to sift through. I mean, the losers will come, you know, it's part of the process, but generally you are always selecting from, you know, quality humans, you know, quality men to choose from. Now we know that you got distracted. Did you want to say something, Penny?
No, and the reason why you have quality to choose from is, I didn't know that there was a word called core needs. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
What is core need? What is non-negotiable? Because the thing is, I didn't even know who I was. Because remember, I was displaying for everyone. So if it's A, I'm displaying for you in a different style. If it's B, I'm displaying. So because I could change 10 times depending who you were. So who was I? I was lost. So then when I came into the course, that's where, I think at the end, where that's where you teach us there's a core need. But at that time, you would have done module 1, 2, and 3, where you found yourself. So the relationship becomes at the end. That's why I keep on saying it's a byproduct. That one is guaranteed. Don't worry about that one. That one is guaranteed. You actually struggle. That's one is a guaranteed. So don't worry about that.
Kind of struggle.
To the end,
struggle with options.
I know.
I guarantee you that one. So I got to the end where Chinwe now brought that, oh, okay. So now that you are helping and you're going out to pay, you need to have a co-need. I said, what's that? So and I now understood, it clicked, because I had found myself. I never found myself because I was displaying. So when I found myself, and I had to sit down and know what I want, what will serve me, and what I can get rid of. So you come to your core needs, your non-negotiable, and your desirable. So after that, and when you go out there, you're like, fire. This will work for me. This will work. No, thank you. And the thing is, the beauty of it is like you're not even sweating. Okay,
No,
it will work.
it's
Thank you.
literally water off, rolling off.
What's the opposite back?
Sorry? And for me at the end, so I knew who I was, but I didn't know who I was. It was what everybody wanted apart from Penny. What this friend A want, this romantic friend want, this work want, I didn't know me. And what I'm saying, cornets and all that, all the people think it just runs in romantic. It runs everywhere, even in your work. What do you accept? How you place boundaries? It works because you have to find you to know what works for you. And if you don't know you, and you are displaying like the way I was, Martin said, because everyone displays, how do you know what you want? So it all makes sense. So I would actually plead, if you don't have the money, that's fine, but put you on a credit card. It's worth it and pay towards it. And I promise you, you won't regret it because for me, it's a lifesaver.
Amen.
I know.
Thank you, Penny. Amen.
No, I did have one last thing.
Yes.
One small.
Go ahead.
One. Sorry, I got distracted earlier. Babies want attention, even if they're 18 years old.
You have to start the soulmate thing.
I know, right? So, because I love the way you were saying, because we're talking about how we're talking about breaking patterns, right? And how you then start to build healthy patterns. And I think you mentioned so many things. You started doing your garden. You started taking yourself out. And I think some people don't even understand what did that do for you when you now knew what building a healthy pattern actually looks like and you're doing it? What does that mean for you?
When you do that, when you are giving yourself that love and affirmation, as I said earlier, unfortunately, I was seeking all this affirmation and validation from people. Foolish, stupid, silly from people, because I felt I couldn't give it to myself. So when I found out I could do that for myself, whatever you gave me was a surplus, even if I was willing to take it though. Because I could do that for myself. So that's the reprogramming, because you are doing that for yourself. You're treating yourself well. You talk kindly to yourself. You treat yourself well. You have healthy boundaries for yourself. So boundaries are not just with people. Are you able to keep boundaries? Like, was I able to show up to class? If Chinwe gave me homework, was I able to do it? Was I disciplined? Because it's not just work. You could finish if you don't put it in practice, unfortunately, it won't work. This is something that you have to do and consciously put it in practice. And that's also a boundary you are setting with yourself. Because she can give you all the magic tools, which to me was magic and miraculous tools. But if you're not going to stick to the program.
Absolutely. What can we say? We can be here all day. If you want to meet up with Penny, just join BSN because she's in there. She's always in there sharing amazing stuff for us all to hear about. And we can go on and on forever. But I want to say something before we leave. As you all know, somebody just said happy birthday. I think that's Lamanda. Lamanda said happy birthday, Chengi. Thank you so much. We've started celebrating. My birthday is actually on the 30th of July. So we're kind of doing
nice 27.
Every year. Yeah, because you're quite, when is your one?
27th.
27th, yeah, because I know yours is usually like a few days before mine. The best people are born in July. I gotta say it. Well, anyway, my birthday's on the 30th of July, and we always try and do something fun for everybody. I like to give everybody a treat. So this, Yvonne said to all of us, hey girls, for Chengi's birthday, why don't we give them a treat and let's give them 30% off the soulmate, because we're talking about it and we are, that's what we're talking about right now. So why not give it to them as a treat? So from, I believe, today till the 30th of July, you will get 30% off.
Oh, fantastic.
All of the courses at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Yay. And I'm going to give you the coupon code in just a minute. And if you do get the soulmate self-study, you will have 30 minutes with one of the coaches, so you can have the experience that Penny was talking about with any of the coaches that you choose. So that's going to be thrown in for you for free. And it's going to be what's the other 30? There was a reason for the other 30. My mind's gone blank. So it was
on the 30th of July.
So 30th of July, yes, being my birthday. So the code is actually 30 30 30, 3 30s.
Yeah.
So 30 30 30. So if you go to the website and you go to checkout and you put a coupon code 30 30 30 till the 30th of July, you'll be able to access all of the courses, including the Soulmate Attraction System course. And of course, you will get your discovery call with any of the coaches. And if you wish to work with a coach or any of the coaches, you can then upgrade your soulmate to work with a coach. Because like Penny said, the self-study, we had Nonto speak about the self-study and how impactful it was for her. It's a very impactful way of going about things. But if you definitely know that you have a lot of dysfunction, and you know that you have, depression or anxiety or any of these things, while we're not therapists or clinicians, you definitely do need somebody to hold your hand through it, because a lot of the stuff a lot of the questions will bring out a lot of stuff, and you want somebody to process. And when you work with a coach, you're basically living in our lives. You are on our phones day and night, weekends, evenings, whenever you need support and help. You are literally always by our side, and we hold your hand through every single moment of the journey. So you have literally hired a coach for the next 3 to 4 months of your life that is by your side all the way through. Every single day you're able to access your coach through their personal phone. So it's always, we wanted to make sure that we give as much support as possible, because when we're dealing with things like trauma, you never know when you're triggered, you never know when you just offload, when you need to just regulate. Some of our clients, certainly mine, will be like, Chengi, right now I'm just so dysregulated. This is what's going on. And sometimes just a word or, just sit down, breathe, and I'm going to come back to you, show me your journal or whatever it is, can just bring everybody back to their point. Because discovering yourself is scary, because inside of you are demons that you've just hoped never to look at ever. You're like this with them, and now you kind of have to look at your worst nightmares. And inside of you are treasures beyond measure, right? There's gold and platinum and diamonds inside of you that are kind of messed up in there. So discovering your power is so wonderful, but it can also be scary. And discovering the things that kind of have held you down, they can be scary as well. So it's so good when you have a coach who can walk through with you. And yes, it is an investment, deliberately so. The Soulmate Attraction System course used to be very, very cheap, but I noticed that we were not invested. I won this course and I've designed this course, and the coaches know, and I've said this over and over again, I need skin in the game for you. I want absolute skin in the game. When you do this course, this has to work for me or else, right? There has to be no, afford it. It's all right. I need you to be in this course, skin in the game, because we will show up for you front and center. We will be at that start line through the run. I was looking at this reel, I don't know if you've seen it, where the blind runners have somebody kind of chained to them. And I think I don't know if they call it a coach, but it's a navigator or something. Yeah. And literally it's like that. We're literally chained to each other, and we stride with you all the way through. And trust me, I know that people, especially professionals like ourselves, never tell you the toll that it takes on our bodies. No. Because we are sharing your pain and your energy every single time. And that's why we have a limit. I only work with 3 people. All the coaches only work with a certain amount of people, because we simply cannot carry that much kind of energy, in that kind of bulk. So we literally take the toll with you. We take the journey with you. We cry the tears with you. We're here with you till the very end. That is a massive investment on our side, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We pray for you. The coaches wake up every morning at 6 a.m. without fail, and we pray for you. We pray for every single member on the roster, every single member in BSN. We pray for you by ourselves if you're on our particular coaching. So you are being prayed for, you are being loved on, you are being taken care of, you're being checked on. And even after you stop doing Soulmate, you will get a call with me, or whoever Penny knows. I'll be like, Penny, call me right now, because and we can sit down and have a chat for hours, because it's a relationship that never ends. I don't care where Penny goes in the world, she will always hear from me. I've got clients I catch up with 3 years later, and it's just call me, and at that point, it's free. Call me, just call me, and let's catch up and let's see where you are, because we could develop a close friendship, because we're living together we develop a really beautiful friendship. So it's a massive investment on our side, and we want you to match it. We want you to match our energy by making the investment, and however you do it, I promise you and I guarantee you that this is something you will never ever regret. I'm yet to find somebody who hasn't said what Penny said. I'll do it again. I'll put my credit card, I'll do it again. Because that is the best money you will ever spend. That is money that you spend on yourself. The money you spend on your healing, the money you invest in your evolution so that you can develop your black swan wings. And they are so beautiful because you can fly, you can swim, you can walk on land. The world truly belongs to the black swan. So that's what I'm going to say. Is there anything that you'd like, if any final words, Penny, and then Yvonne, and then Unique? And then
all I can say is I wish everybody could see my first video to believe they have to do it. That's all I can say. Because you have to see the first video to believe you have to do it. It's like day and night. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you, Penny. You're such a glory. We love having you. And we didn't even have to be here, to be honest. We just had to be here to watch you do your thing, as you do all the time. Love having you here, and looking forward to really seeing you blossom as an ambassador of the Black Swan Relationship Academy in the next few months. And just such a great representation of what it is to be a Black Swan. And more so to those of us who know you really well. We're just so proud to own you. We're so proud to own you and say she's one of us. And we know that you are only going to be the best representation of the Black Swan universe in years to come. And love you. We look forward to
do that. I would be very privileged to do that. Absolutely.
Yay. We love it. And next week we will have another Black Swan, so look forward to having her here as well. So do tune in next week. And Yvonne, did you have any last words before we let Unique close us off?
A very, very, very quick story that I wanted to say to buttress some of what Panyan was saying, and something that Chengi said. And in fact, it was something that Chengi told me a little while ago. And she said that she was I think she was watching a film, and in this film, this little boy had a little furry creature that he found, and he loved it, kept it very, very safe, and he kept it under his bed. And this little thing, when it was small, and he fed it, played with it, really loved it. One day it scratched him, but he paid no attention to it. And this thing started growing and growing. Then the little scraps that the little child was given this little furry creature was now not enough. The furry creature was eating the cat, it had ate the dog, and then one day this furry creature became a monster. But because he had grown with it and he loved it, he didn't see anything wrong with it. And I say all that to say that monster, each and every one of us, listening to the sound of my voice, and those here on this call, we all know that monster. That monster used to live in us. And it is because of the soulmate why we have been able to get rid of our monsters, so that we can be the people that you see before us now. So if you too would like to get rid of your monster, I want you to take a final look at Panyan and see if there's any monster in her. And if there isn't, maybe you may decide, you know what, I think I'll do that. And with a 30% off,
why not?
Why not? I love that. Thank you so much. What a story to end on. Really, really powerful. Little monster that eventually wanted to eat the little boy. So at some point it stops being okay to be dysfunctional until it consumes you. And we thank God that none of us were consumed, but were smart enough to make the investment. And how about you? What would you like to say to our beautiful listeners before we say goodbye?
I'd like to actually talk about the monster as well. It's like we actually help you release it lovingly without it. We don't exorcise, just to caveat that. No exorcism here.
No exorcism, no incense.
We just allow you to accept it and let it walk away and thank it for the role that it has played in your life. And there's always ways that we do that with you through the coaching. And I'm sure Penny can attest to that. It's like, it's easier to let go of something that you are grateful for, because the monster played a part. The monster played a role. It was keeping the boy, just his companion, until it had to go off and fulfill its own purpose and eat other things, but not him. So what we want you to do is allow that monster to leave you lovingly, without any malice, and just allow that monster to go about its business, and allow you to then live your best life. Because for me, the part I love the most is Panyan. I'm sure you had the garden before now.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've been at that place for a while.
Yeah.
You had the garden before, but you didn't find the beauty in it to actually take time to nurture it. You didn't find the beauty in spending time with yourself, because the monster was consuming all your time. And you didn't find the time to actually go out with your friends. You've been on holiday, and I've seen some of your pictures. I'm like, this is amazing. It's like, we love to see all of that. But you can only do that when you are able to release that monster. Because remember, again, that monster kept you comfortable at some point. That monster kept you all cuddled up and all nice and cushy. It was warm. It gave you a need, that it fulfilled a need at that time, that now we have to, it's that whole thing of breaking those patterns so that you can make it okay to want that need, but in a healthy way. So just to kind of leave you guys with that, and I have a think about, all of us have monsters. All of us would love to open the cage and sometime and let it go, but we're always too afraid that that monster will consume me. But this soulmate attraction gives you the space where you can allow the monster to just walk out without it ravenous-ing you.
And if I could say something,
anyway,
there's no judgment. My dysfunction was my personal property. It was okay then, because it was serving me well.
Yes.
So it was okay, because that was what I was used to. So when I say dysfunction, it worked for me. It kept me. It was a safety net for me then, until it became something that was not working anymore. So there's no judgment. You are used to, or we were used to certain things because that was all that we knew, and that was what was working for us. It was a protective thing. If I was reacting over just a spilled water, that was all I knew how to do it, until you come and there's a reprogram with a coach that tells you there's a better way. Yeah, so it doesn't mean that it's ugly or nothing. No, it was my sweet protective thing.
It was a little cuddly bear.
Yeah, it was my cuddly bear. It was really, really, because we ride for years. So how can it be bad? You ride it for years.
It was literally your ride or die, right? Until someone had to die.
Yes.
Until somebody had to die. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for sharing all of that. And obviously we could sit here forever and just be so encouraged. It's particularly so powerful for us as facilitators of the course and leaders of the course, because it's so rewarding, because we go through the mud with everybody. And one of the things that people don't realize is that many people will go through the mud with us, and then when they get to the other side and they find their marriage and they find their husband and they move on with their best lives, some people won't even pick up the phone if I call them, because they've moved on, right? And it's so lovely, like Jesus healed the 10 lepers. There's always the one that came back to say thank you. So Penny makes up that one that comes back, that 1% that comes back, that 10% that come back and say, you know what, thank you. And the Bible says, and that person was made whole. So, our prayer for you, Penny, is not just you've already received your healing, you've already received your blessing, but the fact that you are so willing, and along with the Nontos and the Pams and those people who are willing, you are so willing to come back and say thank you and to share your story with others, so that other people can have an opportunity to really see that I don't have to be stuck. I don't have to live this reality. I can change my whole entire life. May God truly make you whole. in every way,
Amen.
shape, or form. And when we
Thank
have you back here, we'll be talking about your marriage, we'll be talking about your babies, we'll be talking
Amen.
about, you know, Grandma Swan and Auntie
Yeah.
Swans. And, you know, I know without a shadow of a doubt that you're in your season. And I've said this to you already before, and I'm never wrong. So I know we'll be having you back.
Amen.
But you will be sharing, you know, more and more of your story. And I want to invite every single person who's listening today that you didn't happen upon this live. You were chosen to be here. And maybe for you, it's not right away, but it's something that God wants you to know He has for you. And maybe it's a project for you now in the next 12 months to save up, to figure it out, and to show up for yourself. And for some of you, maybe it was that Birkin bag that you might have to possibly buy next year and get yourself on the course. For some of us, it might just be a full-on sacrifice. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know that if you were on this live watching and stayed through from the beginning to the end, this is for you. And I cannot tell you how many things I have had to do broke because I knew they were good for me. And Yvonne will definitely tell you a story or two of some crazy stuff I have done, you know, having zero money because I knew that I mattered at a certain level. And because I took the difficult journeys, and I remember needing to do something and I sold everything I had. To like anything that was precious. I looked around my house, I sold everything so that I could do this particular thing that was really important at the time. And I didn't realize that it was going to fertilize and become the seed that would create the soulmate attraction and change so many lives all over the world. So when you invest in yourself, you're investing in generations, you're investing in your legacy, you're investing. You know, I didn't even realize I would have all these people that I would be able to change lives. But, you know, I know what it is to not have but desire something so badly that you do what it takes. And I know how you treat it when you've paid a high price for it. And I've done it over and over and over and over again. And so, you know, whenever you see success or glory, there's always a story. There's always a bit of sacrifice. There's always doubt and fear. But to get to this point and to the next point in my life and the next point in my life, I'm going to have to lay something down, right? So we're hoping that this has been an inspiration for you as it has been for us. And we will see you at our next live. Is that Darcy? We should see her. She should come and say hi to everyone and become a little star. This is our little teenage princess. Hey, darling. Yeah, a little superstar now. Look at her. She makes Auntie proud. But yes, I want to see more babies, more swanlings. I call them swanlings, even though that's not what they're really called. But we look forward to seeing you. Have a good evening, everyone, or daytime, or wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much, Penny, again. And we will see you on our next live. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.